Today on the program, President Tinubu woos Volkswagen, other manufacturers back to Nigeria, strikes deal with Germany, Korea, and India to boost economy. I'll be hanging out with Gani, Kaide Balogun, and Dari Udufowokon. So if you're ready, let the hangout start now. Thank you for staying with us. From both sides of the divide, reactions continue to trail the verdicts of the 2023 Presidential Petition Tribunal, Petition Tribunal. The 104 non-serving senators on the platform of the All Progressive Congress, APC, have commended the tribunal for affirming the victory of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and Vice President Kashim Shettima. In a statement by its convener and former Kano Central Senator in the 7th Assembly, that's National Assembly, Senator Bashar Lado, the group congratulated President Tinubu and expressed hope that the development will bring progress and prosperity to the country. Dari, people that the judgment did not favor actually said when the judges were reading that judgment today for that day for 13 hours, it looks more like the submission papers for the All Progressive Congress, that the judges sounded so antagonistic. They deployed some words that are so uncomplimentary, to as if they were chiding the lawyers and as if they were the mouthpiece for the All Progressive Congress and the Independent National Electoral Commission. That judgment does not look like a normal judgment, that there's something about that judgment, and they went further to say that it might have been lawyers to the All Progressive Congress that actually wrote that judgment.
Yeah. When there is an unusual case, it's expected that everything about its outcome, the proceedings, will look unusual, especially to those who disagree with the final judgment. Ayo, I want to say that we need to be fair to people who find themselves on the hot seats. And in saying this, now I'm talking about the judges. While those who don't like the judgment, or those who are opposed to the judgment, or those to whom the judgment is not acceptable, may see it as something unusual, something strange, something tailored. It is their opinion. Do you know how I see it? I see angry judges. In my opinion, the judges on that panel were angry.
They were pissed.
They were pissed. And the question you should ask me, are they rightly so? I'll tell you, yes, we are all humans. If you sit on the panel of a case and people go and get your entire family picture, put it out there. Get the phone numbers of your husband, your wife, your children, and ask people to be calling them, tormenting them, cursing them ahead of or during the proceeding of that judgment. I mean, that case. How would you have felt as a human being? In my opinion, the judges were they controlled themselves. But what they did was to point out that, look, we'll be guided by what happens in the courtroom, not by the noise out there. It is within their right to point it out that we too, as humans, were not pleased with what you did to us, that you didn't need to do it. Those are the things, those are the tones some people are pointing out as they look like mouthpiece. No, they were speaking for themselves. And they were speaking for the entire judiciary that don't put us through this kind of rigors. It is unnecessary. Believe in what we would do. It is the court. It is a place where you have all come to seek justice. If you already declare those who will do justice as unfair, biased, influenced,
Why did you submit yourself?
Why did you submit yourself to the process? That is the anger you, I, and they saw in the judges. And if you ask me, I'll say they have every right to be angry. They are humans. Let's just be fair. And for those who are now saying some APC lawyers wrote the judgment, whatever. I'll tell you it's their opinion. And I hope some of the APC lawyers will be angry enough too to help us test this argument in court. Former governor of Lagos State, Babatunde Raji Fashola, was earlier accused of writing a judgment. He has vowed to go to court. I am eager.
He has been dealing with them.
He has started. Beautiful. Let's test some of these things in court. Those who made the allegation must have their facts. I'm not saying they are wrong. Neither am I saying they are right. But I want the judges, the lawyers of the APC too, to take them up on what they have said too, so that we'll go to court and test some of these arguments.
I think, Babatobi, surprisingly, you discover that people that are lawyers, even on this case, and you feel that, ordinarily they should, they should, anything that impugn on the integrity of the judiciary, they should stay away from it. Lawyers are leading this vanguard to tell Nigerians that, no, this is the closing submission of APC. That is not a judgment.
Yeah.
And you see a lot of lawyers condemning the justices of the Court of Appeal, and by extension, saying that they don't have hope in whatever the Supreme Court will do in the next 60 days.
Yes, because most lawyers, most senior lawyers who have spoken about the judgments, lauded the judgments, for being very thorough, for being very articulate, and for the judges, because I think the reason why it took 12 hours was that everybody wanted to make sure that they cover all bases. So there will be no place in that judgment that somebody can say it did not touch A or touch B. So that, to me, that was the fundamental difference. And most of the lawyers who are mentioning that were attacking the judgments, I may be wrong, but I have not seen one of them attack it on the point of law, only on sentiments. Either they say somebody wrote it, or that somebody went to India before the judgment, or a judge was not showing their face to the camera. Nobody, and I said I may be wrong, have come forward out of those lawyers you mentioned to argue on the point of law as stated by these judges. To me, that's a fundamental key in what is going on. Because it's no longer a case of the law. It's now a case of perception. They've been riding this roller coaster for so long, misleading their people on what the outcome will be, that to before do that scenario where the judges are very clear, were precise. Because one thing I took away, I'm not a lawyer, but I took one thing away. The lead judgment stated that there's nothing that has been brought to them, all the prayers brought to them have been handled before by either the High Court, the Court of Appeal, or the Supreme Court. So you are now, because you now know there's going to be, hell will freeze over before the Supreme Court will overturn themselves. So it's better to now clear the scenario that what do you expect from these judges by maligning and degrading the judges. And I'm glad that the judges are now charging lawyers fines for bringing frivolous cases. Some for 42 million or 50 million. Personally, I hope that whatever happens at the Supreme Court, whoever is found to have wasted the time and resources of the courts will also be fined. Seriously. Because if you notice, once the judgment came out, the tension in the land has gone down. It has returned to the fringes. Because most Nigerians who are serious, like the senator said, are now willing to move on with their lives. And even the president, as you know, continue to do his job. He has not stayed behind to wallow or wait for anybody. He was on the road to bring prospective investors to the country. And so he has moved on. They are willing to continue to do what they have. I think our people say in Ibadan, let them continue to do the case. Let us continue the rule.
And then if you look at most Nigerians who have been following this case, the fair ones, the serious ones, I would say, all they did after the judgment was to look at the meat.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are coming to say, look, these are facts. One major thing, you just mentioned it, that people are talking about now, that truly, it seems that all these people didn't have new cases to take to the tribunal. There is none of the thing listed that we have not heard about before. No. Most of them were dealt with as pre-election matters. So why they expected that where this party is saying we were rigged in, they mentioned states. People expected to see figures. If you look at most cases where elections were upturned, it had to do with figures. People saying, look, we got 120,000 votes in so polling unit. 12,000 was recorded for us. So there's an argument. Both parties will argue. How come it is true? It is not. Where it is found to be true, figures will change. And then the court will compute the new figures and say, look, it's obvious.
You are not the winner.
But of all these cases, none of the parties went to court with contradictory figures
The one submitted by
to debunk what was submitted by INEC. And that's why INEC is saying, look, you came here to waste our time. We also had to pay lawyers to deal with. We paid lawyers because we felt that, oh, these people are coming with fresh issues. If you listen to the INEC lawyer during one of the questions, he said, look, that people should understand that government resources is being wasted. If what we have come here to argue is what we argued in High Court said you were wrong. We went to Appeal Court said you were wrong. We got to Supreme Court, and you are bringing it to a tribunal. That this is obviously a waste of the time of the court, the resources of the parties.
What even make it more pathetic was the fact that people are arguing that the only form, ECAT, that is required by law to show the score. They are not the problem. That's not their problem. The problem is that it was not uploaded.
When the Electoral Act is very clear.
And so look, if I promise to serve you tea in this China cup, and I couldn't serve you with the tea, I bring plastic. Maybe for you to drink the tea.
Drink tea.
Why are you particular about the kind of cup that I used to bring tea for you?
Are the contents of the Form EC8 incorrect?
Yeah. Your people, did they not sign it?
That's what the judges are saying. Your people signed this thing. It is INEC's offer. It's an offer. Okay, we will also try and upload this thing. And they came out to explain to you that, look, due to certain technical issues or fears.
Don't you think what they are saying now, beyond the legal framework down to the tribunal, people are saying that it's not what you promised us, it's not what we got eventually. That yes, you offered us, and the offer became attractive, and that offer lured a lot of youths to participate in that exercise. That look, it affected the credibility of the process.
I agree
and they felt that look, with this offer, that we have a cast iron alibi to say, look,
this is fair.
This is the result. This is fair.
I agree with those who are saying that totally. INEC goofed by not living up to its promises. However, the question is, can we now use that to invalidate the entire process? My dear brother, the answer is no.
That's what the court has just
we will be throwing away the baby with the bathwater. The bathwater became dirty because INEC did not live up to our expectations. Look, AY, we have a law, the Electoral Act. It is in our constitution. The offer of uploading results is not there. If INEC uploaded it, it would not have contravened the law. It's an offer. If it is within its powers to do it, beautiful. If it has the resources to get it done, wonderful. It will add to the credibility of the process. But it will not doing it cannot take away from the credibility of the result.
Yeah.
The process is what will continue to fault. And how do we fault it? By saying, if you had done that, it would have been better. Next time, make sure you do that. You'll see that it will be better. It's an offer that when I serve you rice, the law says I should give you rice when you come to my house because we belong to the same society. Yes, it's a law. But the law did not stipulate that I should give you 2 meat. I now said, look, when you come, I'm going to make sure you get 2 meat because of something you did to me. Beautiful. You came to my house. Due to the scarcity of meat at that time, I offered you a meat as stipulated by the law. You cannot say I have not done what is expected of me.
Why you not serve the rice?
Why you not serve the rice? Did it not come with meat, which is protein?
Okay. The police in Rivers State are unveiling the masterminds of the gruesome killing of an officer in Rivers State. The state command, the Nigerian police, arrested 6 persons in connection with the brutal murder of the divisional police officer of Aouda East local government area, Bako Agbasim. The spokesperson for the command said the suspects were captured within the community. The prime suspect is said to still be on the run. It's unfortunate that a vibrant police DPO will be crushed down like that by members of the community. Cultists.
With the problem or the cancer that cultism has become in Nigeria is one of the things that we look away from as a clear and present danger that we are facing down the line. Because you are creating a system. Because everybody knows that all over the world, that the state power is in the ability to police your community. The moment some people think they can now challenge that power, the perception of that particular state is going down. So in this manner, I expect, and I want to applaud the police for this quick action that they took. Because if they should get away with this, they will do more gruesome things to the police. Already the police are just recovering, if you remember, from the things that happened during the NSAS, where some of them were chopped into pieces and all that. But we don't want this to happen because the police actually is the one that we rely on to keep the law and order in our society. So whatever they need to do, I implore them to make sure that whoever is the mastermind is caught and made to face the full wrath of the law. Because if that is not done, we are creating monsters that will now become bigger than the state. So I want to commend the police and encourage them to do because I remember there was a time when I was in Rivers State that there's a police officer that was the head of their anti-kidnapping and I think something. I think he's now a very big senior officer somewhere in the police. And his job was basically to go to communities and fish out these people before they become monsters. It was not a popular decision, but he brought crime down in Rivers State at that point in time. Because he was being proactive. He was not waiting for them to become monsters before attacking them. So I think the federal government must look for an holistic way to solve this problem of cultism once and for all. Because these people are not just ordinary criminals. They are talking about well-educated people who have taken cultism as their only road to wealth. And that, to me, is a clear and present danger.
And they have sponsors. They have people that arm them. They have godfathers. Unfortunately, these cultists, they are not people that are afraid of, the police.
Even the army.
Well, it's unfortunate that some people at this time in national history still feel they will do things like this and get away with it. That's where I'm concerned. If the police fail, they will not just arrest the suspects, but their godfathers, their sponsors in this matter, will be leaving this danger for another day. Here is a police officer that has been celebrated. If you have followed this man, the last 3 years, he has been in the news for working very hard to rid a wider list of criminalities. On many occasions, he has been commended by the state government, by the police authorities, even by organizations within and outside Rivers State for doing exploits, especially in the area of cultism and fighting cultism. And
it was targeted.
Yeah, no, it's established. Reliable sources in the state made it clear that he has been threatened more than once before now. And that's where I find it sad that the police that provides security for people who are threatened, that provides security for high flyers in the society, could not deem it fit to ensure that, this man has become some sort of endangered species and protect him. Unfortunately, that gallant officer paid the supreme price. But I beg the police, not just in Rivers State, the police as a whole, to ensure that the killers of because if they get away with this,
they will do more.
They will do more.
They cut
off
his head.
Yes, they cut off his head. And when policemen feel that if I attack criminals openly, this is what will become of me, they will slow down and criminality will become the order of the day.
Chaos will reign.
And that's what we cannot afford. So, while we sympathize with the family of this gallant officer, we sympathize with his colleagues in Rivers State, we should beg the police find the killers of this man. It will help all of us.
This investigation is ongoing.
Yeah, they've caught some of them.
Even got arrested.
Only the ringleader. And like you said, the godfathers are still at large. And that's what they need to do. That's why I commended the police for moving very quickly, because perception matters.
Yes.
If the people can perceive that you are under threat, your power goes.
Power goes.
That's the danger there.
It's good they got people arrested, but let them do more. Let them do more.
And the menace of cultism, even in the southern part of the country, is becoming worrisome.
Yeah, don't forget that in our neighborhood at Korodu at one point, you remember?
Yeah.
Where we had they have to find this one, they have to bring in OPC.
Beyond OPC, you see, AY, fighting cultism is a local thing.
It's a community.
It's a community thing. And I think the entire state, Lagos, and the country should study the Ikorodu example. You know, in Ikorodu now, cultism is as good as defeated. I tell you, I live there.
Oh.
I'll tell you what they did. The community decided to fight cultism. And it's paid off.
Enough is enough.
Enough is enough. What they did is, beyond the, it's not just, they had Oyabo before. The cultists became so brave that they were killing all the Oyabos. Then, with the help of the Odofin of Ikorodu, Chief Adeomi, Ogun, he said, look, let us come together. All the local governments, all the chiefs, all the baales, all the kings, let's come together. Let us form a team that will not be influenced by either you or me. And that's why how the Ikorodu Security Initiative came to be. They provided vehicles, motorcycles, and they asked for volunteers in the community to join the team. That group was given birth to. The enumeration is not by any individual, but collective. Then they ensured that they were trained by the police. The officers in that group spent months being trained by the police here in Lagos. So they were trained. They went to, just like going to school. They came back. Really? They swore to oath of allegiance to the community.
Is this Oyabo people?
Beyond Oyabo, other people joined. I tell you, some of the members are repentant cultists who denounced and offered their services. And you know how that paid off? They know the people they went. So all the known names in cultism in Ikorodu that did not renounce left town. And Ikorodu, now in Maya, which used to be like their headquarters, we sleep with our two eyes. Most communities in Ikorodu have stopped paying for private security. Nobody hires security again because this security outfit is everywhere. They have units and everything, and the numbers are everywhere. So call them, they are there.
So you are telling me that Ikorodu has created their own police?
Yeah, it's as good as that. Local policing, community policing, that is working. Now you have events, late night events in Ikorodu, and nobody is shooting guns. Nobody is being attacked. The Ikorodu model should be studied. People like Honorable Jimmy Benson should be invited. What did you people do? What did you do to bring about this change? Because we live there. We lived there before. We are still living there now. We can tell you that the change is drastic. Drastic.
Bringing us down to that argument of community policing, state police, and, just deregulating what we have right now.
We've said it many times.
Decentralizing it.
Well, the police should start from the bottom, not from the top. We all know the history of the Nigerian police. Nigerian police is basically an offshoot of the constabulary. When they brought in northerners to Lagos at Obalende to put down the natives. That mentality is still there. That basically you are instruments of the states instead of being organic and coming from the community up. I've said it many times on this program. What we need to do is very clear. Create state police or city police or local police. Move it up. Call it state marshals or whatever you call them. Move it up to federal. Call it federal bureau or whatever. Let them undo whatever is theirs. Interstate crimes, you go to the federal. Crimes within the state, you stay within the states. These are not rocket science. It's what we can do. But we keep insisting on the hand-me-downs, which to me has not solved any problem. Police should be a pyramid.
From bottom.
It should be a cone. It should be a cone. It should not be a pyramid.
Now, if you look at the neighborhood thing, Lagos State is doing
Yes,
to
neighborhood
AY,
watch, yes.
it is working. How? They provide
Intelligence gathering.
information. All they know that you want to know where they are selling Indian hemp, go to that place. The boys you are looking for, you know where they are. They provide information to the police. The police will go there, and you begin to see the fruits of that cooperation between these seeming state arrangement, community policing system, and the main police, and it is yielding fruit.
All right, we'll take this breather. When we come back, we'll talk about Ogun State.
I'm your big fan too.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it, brother.
And I'm chilling with my main guy, Feda.
Alpha, network problem.
Yes, well, got me.
Let me turn on my hotspot.
It's off connect.
See?
When you're on 9 Confirm from 9 Mobile, you get a super gift of 1,000 Naira just for joining the network. 900% bonus on every recharge. 100% data bonus for 6 months and double data bonus on your first recharge of the month.
Get a new SIM or dial star 1 400 hash now.
9 Mobile. You're heading home from work. In the busy traffic, your car breaks down. Car horns blast. Your car is pushed aside. You call for help. Phone battery blinks and dies. You take a cab. Few miles, tire bursts. What a day. Frustrated, sweating, and tired. Nearing home, darkness envelops the street. Wow! Just one house is bubbling with life. Brilliant lights, loud music, smiling wife, all welcome you.
We alone have light.
Yes, it's JRB Solar Energy Systems, my anniversary present to us.
No matter how dark life is, the sun is gonna shine on everything you do. JRB solar inverters, batteries, solar panels, solar streetlights, and more. Telephone 0906 752 1111. Email sales@jrbsolar.com. JRB, the sun is gonna shine on everything you do.
Thank you for staying with us. If you're just joining us, this is Journalist Hangout, reaching you live from TVC News here in our headquarters, Lagos, Nigeria. I still have Dari Odufo-Okon and Gani Kayode Balogun in the studio. If two wrongs cannot make right, will accusation and counter-accusation be? We are faced with such dilemma after Ogun State government demolished a 5-story building, Datkem Plaza, owned by Olufunke Daniel. That's the wife of the former governor of the state, Benga Daniel. The state government approved the demolition of the building for breach of construction plan, but the former first lady stressed that it was done against a notice from the court to halt the process. Dari, what's happening? Yeah. There seems to be a lot of people are, interpreting this and reading a kind of political undertone to this, because the frosty relationship between Senator Benga Daniel and the governor of the state, Dapo Abiodun. And immediately this happened, a lot of people started reading meaning. What actually went wrong?
Well, you see, one should start, or I would want to start discussing this kind of thing by first naturally sympathizing with the OGD family, the huge loss they perhaps suffered due to the demolition. But I do not want to join those who take delight in politicizing everything, either it is true or not. It will not help our system. We must first begin to look at issues on their merit. And then, as commentators, be it on social media, on the mainstream media, we should ask more questions before passing judgment. I looked at what has happened and I felt that there are questions to be answered, especially by Yeye Olufunke and the developers. What people did not understand that there is a developer building this particular structure. It was given to a developer to be developed. What are the issues the state government is raising? I've read the responses from the OGD camp. They have not answered certain salient questions. And it's when those questions are answered that we can begin to say, oh, it is political or not. The state government, in defending its actions, raised some issues. For example, they made it clear that the building deviated from the approval it got from the zonal physical planning authority. Is this true? The OGD camp has not answered that question. Rather, the only issue, like we have seen in Nigeria, is it is political. What is political? Before, when the going was good, as far back as May 2022, we all are in politics. We knew when things went awry. May 2022, a stop work order was given on the strength that
site.
Yes, on that side, on the strength that you are deviating from
the approval.
Because the main building was going on in front. Another story building was started at the back, contrary to the approval allegedly given. I have not seen the approval. But what I'm saying is that these are the kind of responses we should be getting from those complaining, not just saying it is wish on. The other issue is the fact that they said no approval was given for that other story building at the back. Rather, that 50%, 45 to 50% of the building, of the available land, is what you ought to use to build, while others should be for safety and parking. Is it true that you contravened this by erecting another structure? Those are the things we should get responses for. The issue of the stage certifications. The state said, the permanent secretary of the ministry challenged them to provide stage certifications of that building. Stage certifications are at every stage. You'll be certified to be okay. They said they did not get any. They are alleging, I'm not speaking for the state government, that you didn't get any state certification. You just continue building. Our men came to you that, please, let's satisfy this thing stage by stage, that this was flouted. If it is true that happened, that notices were served in May, in August, in October 2022, stop work, warnings, and eventually, as far back as October 2022, a demolition notice came.
A demolition notice.
And there were no responses. Rather, AY, the state government alleged that work continued. Were we to wait until there is a collapse?
Ordinarily, a lot of people will say that this should have been resolved amicably between people in charge of, construction, the ministry in charge of construction in Ogun State, and the developer, and political undertones shouldn't be, that this might have nothing to do with the governor of Ogun State. But people really say, look, all is not well between Senator Benga Daniel and the governor Dapo Abiodun.
As our people say, Ijalode Loridowe. It is when the trailer, a 24-wheeler, passes through two friends. That you now know.
To interpret every action.
Everybody can now interpret whether the trailer has a bad break or whether it was intentional. I think those who come to Equity must come with clearance. When I first heard about demolition, I felt bad. And I questioned the elders in Ogun State. Actually, if the husband of the owner of the plaza and the governor were not only Remo people, they also have the same party. But later I was made to understand that it's far beyond that there is a sense of entitlement and impunity being displayed. Whether that is true or not, it's left to the unless I get a contrary something from the OGD camp. Because the state government stated clearly that they were giving warnings and the things they ought to have done, they did not do. But instead, they prefer to go to work and ignore the cease and desist that they were served on multiple occasions. Again, that is neither here nor there. What is important here is that we cannot pretend and then abuse the rule of law and then pretend that we are victims. I pray that the OGD family will come out with all those things that the state government said to contradict this. Because as I'm speaking now, it's very obvious that the state government is now occupying the high moral ground. And this should not have been if you have allowed the process to go. If they have denied you certification and the decision to do that was in writing, then you have a case. If they give you cease and desist and you refuse to cease and desist, then you will have a case. Like I said, A lot of these are just, they say, he says, until the family now decide to come out and show us proof that it's true that we are giving this notice, but it was countered by a judgment of a court of law, and that we've already got an injunction that the state government should not do anything about what we are doing, and all that and all that. For now, the state government said they have the proof, and I now expect the family to now come out and show us the other side.
Now, if it's not because of the perceived frustrated relationship, would the state government officials have gone, headlong to, demolish, tamper with this project?
On this matter, I want to speak like Africans. I mean, like an African. I agree with you. Perhaps if the relationship was not frosty, maybe people would not be saying this. But the building will still have been demolished by the appropriate authority. What you don't seem to understand is that, what people don't seem to understand is that the government agency is dealing with the developers as far as they are concerned. We have given what was done, and people kept saying demolition. It's actually partial demolition, which is usually, go and check the dictionary meaning of partial demolition in engineering. I am happy that the husband of the woman involved is an engineer himself. It is usually corrective. You bring this down, When you correct this, you can continue. I ask questions. I am a Remo man like the two people involved. And I ask, okay, partial demolition, what does it entail? It simply means that let the developer do the needful, get the appropriate papers, and continue. The entire structure was not brought down. The defective part of it were touched to tell you, this is what we are saying.
And even if there is going to be politics involved, the moment you have a forced relationship, you do the needful.
To ensure that you are on high moral level when whatever comes. But where you are actually the one defaulting, and then the government comes and says, look, if I am the governor, and I realize that, I cannot even talk to this person again because of politics. They believe that we are fighting. Perhaps it would have been possible for him to say, Otuba, issue here. I agree that maybe that could have happened. But the inability of him to do that should lead stop action and provide ground for tragedy.
Okay.
I would say no.
Yeah. So I'm sure.
If there is a collapse, we won't be saying this now. We'll be talking about a former governor whose building killed people.
We will not even know who the owner was.
Because his developer will know. You understand? So I think
they will shield the name.
I want to repeat again that impunity by highly placed people should not be overlooked by government officials. This is why we're always having disasters.
This ahead, I'm sure that we're going to get more information
need more information.
Yes, about both sides. We are going to get,
beyond crying foul, politics
and everything.
Evidence.
Because I expect the
it's not enough to say they are victimizing me.
Proof.
All right.
That he has approval for every stage.
So we promise we'll continue monitoring the situation down there in Ogun State. The push for the revival of the economy by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu continues with vigor. At the G20 summit in India, the president wooed Volkswagen and other manufacturers back to Nigeria. He also met with German Chancellor Olaf Scholz and heads of the three countries identified as key partners in his economic development drive for local investment and wealth creation. This is a lot of groundwork done by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
I want to commend the president on this. Because no matter what you do, no matter how high-faulting your proposals are, if they are not turned into action, our people say that the thing that differentiates us for animals is our ability to take thoughts and turn them into action. And this, to me, is turning things into action. Because two things you must understand. Without productive sector in Nigeria, the dollar will continue to fall. If you are not productive to import and export things, things will not balance out in the long run. So these companies need to be wooed back, or new ones to be encouraged to come and invest in the system. Because one thing the president has done when he came in was to set up economic paths for people to say, okay, Nigeria is now moving in the right track. And I think this is now starting to pay off. Because if people sit down in New Delhi or sit down in Tokyo or in Bonn. They don't need your sweet words. They want to see the economic fundamentals that you are bringing to the table. If they take their plants to Nigeria, will they get return on investments? Will they be able to take their money out on time? Will they be able to control production costs? All these are fundamentals. And this is what the Wale Edun ministry and the presidency are trying very hard to ensure that they achieve within the context of their reality.
Daria, I listened to the president speak passionately with investors from Nigeria, businessmen from Nigeria, wooing investors, and even telling the G2 that they need Nigeria in that group.
Yeah, we are the market.
Yeah, you see, when you have people or a team that has gotten plans for leadership, it will show. I don't think anybody needs to sing the praise of Ashwadi Bola Ahmed Tinubu as president. His actions will speak for him. I want to talk less about him until at least maybe the end of his second year. Let us all now sit down and look at how far he will have taken us. With his moves, he seems to realize it, and he has always said it. Look, except we sell more than we are buying, we cannot balance this economy. He has suddenly also realized, he has realized the fact that we cannot produce enough to sell to outweigh what we are buying. Now he wants people to come in, produce here. What he wants to change is our purchasing power. You don't have to produce in your country and we'll keep coming to buy. We'll give you what you need to start here. We'll make the environment suitable and attractive for you. Produce what we are buying from you here. That will generate employment. That will save our foreign exchange. It will also make us earners. And then when that happens...
Don't forget technology transfer.
Technology
transfer. When that happens, it will show in our economy. And then
okay, we'll quickly take this break. When we come back, we'll still discuss about the president's trip to India.
In today's world, our lifestyle, both at work and at play, depends on connectivity. Our connectivity depends on the devices that make it possible, and these devices depend on electric power. When power fails, our life shrinks, our work drops, and our joy dips. JRB Solar Energy Systems are here to ensure that we enjoy uninterruptible power, uninterruptible joy. Whether you're running a business, an institution, or just a home you return daily to rest, JRB has got you covered. No project is too big for our super digital inverters, long-lasting batteries, and efficient solar panels. Go. Dream on. Change your world. JRB Solar Inverters, batteries, solar panels, solar streetlights, and more. Telephone 0906 752 1111. Email sales@jrbsolar.com. With JRB, the sun's gonna shine on everything you do.
I need something we go ginger me. We tom I dey breathe for it now. I dey run kilo me. That's why I dey come.
If for staying with us, yes, it's not a pleasant news when we discover that the likes of Volkswagen, and some other manufacturing companies are locating to other countries. Yeah. It is now time to create an enabling environment, work on our power supply, steady power supply, roads, and make sure that it's still in Nigeria.
Roads and other infrastructures, they will need it. And if that is part of the renewed hope the president has offered us, and we, in all sincerity, are beginning to see that he actually has plans to do this. Those he has not started, even the ones he has not started. And we are seeing other things, train stations, train tracks, and trains themselves are springing up across the country. We should encourage these investors to come replicate what they are doing in their country that is making us go spend so much there. Yeah. If we do, they will come. If they come and they find our environment suitable, they will stay. And will benefit immensely from it.
We have the market.
We have the market, we have the manpower. So it's just for them to take advantage of these two and help us springboard our economy once again. Yeah, we saw it happen in the past.
I think once the president set up and firm up the fundamentals of our economy. 2-3 years down the line, but this thing will now start to trickle in such a manner that people forget. But I keep saying, there's no way there will not be pressure on dollars if the dollars are basically meant to pay school fees or to go on trips. It's not productive. And unless we start being productive again, we run into. Luckily for us, we are creating IT hubs, which is the tech of the future in certain parts of the country. And that to me is fundamental. Because a government that is serious must not only plan for the short term, it must also plan for the long term as well. Because unless these fundamentals are in place, we run the risk of simply becoming a net importer that we already are, and to become a net exporter. And luckily, the past administration of Mr. Buhari has done a lot in the level of agriculture. If we can now produce our own foods, now produce our own cars, we now produce our own intel. That means technically our need for imports will go down, and then the pressure on our foreign reserve will disappear. But the way we have that, we only import. And because one of the reasons why the airlines said Nigerian cost is so high is because the thing to go back when they bring goods, they have nothing else to take back. So they now double the cost of the freights. Because they assume that's going to be a one-way trip. Meanwhile, in most countries, as you are bringing in, you're also taking out.
And that, by the time the president arrived in Nigeria, the breaking news we are getting now, would have getting more information about the dividend of this particular trip. We are hearing some things from the United Arab Emirates right now.
Yeah, that one.
He just lifted the ban or sanction or the
yes. And sometimes we've not been able to
that's
access, go to Dubai.
Listen, it's over a year.
Stopped running these routes. The routes Lagos, Abuja, Dubai, London, Dubai, Abuja, that they used to do 7 times a day before.
And that's a place people go, giving commerce to the aviation sector. Suddenly we lost that. A lot of people are laid off. Then the goods people go there and bring in at such a reasonable cost. We are buying them at unimaginable cost. So proactiveness on the part of the president, and we should appreciate that. That is solved. And when it comes back, the issue of production from these investors, we have more information. You want to buy a Toyota car, and they start telling you this one is to South Africa.
Yes.
This one is Korea. This one is India.
This one is America.
This one is America. Meaning that Toyota is producing in those countries. Yeah. The same Toyota. So the forex is earned in those countries. So let's have a situation whereby we can say this is Volkswagen Nigeria. This is Mercedes-Benz Nigeria. We are talking with Germany.
Toyota Nigeria.
Let's have Toyota Nigeria. We are talking with Korea, Geely Nigeria, all these other.
GAC
Nigeria.
Because we have the market.
Because we have the market. We buy these things.
We have the market.
Then we'll be back to that era when you can wake up and actually buy a brand new car again, rather than waiting for some used cars to come in from Europe or America.
Grade 1.
They said they even said when they said grade 3 to you as grade 1, how will you know? No. They bring in these cars, refurbish them here in Nigeria.
My neighbor in Indiana uses his car twice a month. Of course, twice a month, and he's been using it for 7 years. You now come to Nigeria to be grade 1.
Say it's grade 1.
Because the system works. Because the trains are working, the buses
roads are not as bad.
The roads are fairly good. So once you get the fundamentals right, other things will follow automatically.
Ganika Edebalogun, I want to thank you for your contribution today. And Dari Otufokon, thank you for your contribution. And that's where we wrap up on today's edition of Journalist Hangout. Join us tomorrow for another episode of the program. You can watch the repeat broadcast tonight at 11 p.m. Join us on Sunday from 1:30 to 3:30 p.m. for Journalist Hangout on Sunday. We're on YouTube, youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. I'm Ayodele Uzubakun. Bye for now, and God bless Nigeria.
A good road network is a major index of socio-economic development. Good roads mean faster and more effective mobility, making places more accessible and enabling free movement of people, goods and services. This is why the Babajide Sanwo-Olu administration has continually placed great priority on the construction of new roads and the rehabilitation of existing ones in line with the Themes Plus agenda. One of such projects aimed at improving the quality of lives of Lagos residents is the reconstruction of the Eric Moore to Okukumaiko axis of the Lagos-Badagry Expressway. The alignment was originally conceptualized by the Lagos State government in 1974 and constructed by the federal government of Nigeria in 1977, when the idea of having a highway to interconnect all the countries of the West African sub-region was agreed upon for implementation during an ECOWAS summit. The road is one of the gateways of Nigeria that connects Seme, the Republic of Benin, and other neighboring West African countries, and the corridor has witnessed rapid urbanization over the years. As soon as he assumed office, Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu signed an executive order titled Enforcement of Law and Order in respect of traffic and sanitation matters. Mr. Governor also began building on the accomplishment achieved by the previous administration. Governor Sanwo-Olu immediately resumed the construction of the expressway with the aim of bringing it to completion. Presently, so much work is being done on the road by the Babajide Sanwo-Olu administration, and with the current pace of delivery, the project is scheduled for completion by the end of the third quarter of 2023. However, it is unfortunate that the road has suffered tremendous abuse from users at various points, leading to severe degradation. It has become a usual sight to see tankers parked on the road, causing great stress on the surface.
The state government intends to carry out a cleanup of this axis, as you can see on all the other major roads in the state. We're going to come up with a cleanup and sustainability plan, in which all this would be a thing of the past. The task force, we would come out, we would do sensitization, and thereafter a thorough cleanup of the axis will be carried out. Consequently, it is important to mention that you should not be on the wrong side of the law. You should follow due process, report all such road abuse to relevant authorities, and take ownership of the road.
Commercial buses stopping and picking passengers at various unapproved points, and the indiscriminate dumping of refuse into drains along the corridor, causing the asphalt surface of the road to become waterlogged, hence creating potholes. In addition to these degradation is the erection of shanties and illegal containerized structures, with miscreants taking over the area. These street urchins go as far as vandalizing amenities such as street lights and harvesting reinforcement irons from concretes on the road. All these unwholesome practices reduce the lifespan of the road and in many cases have caused accident. The Lagos State government views this vandalism and damage to public infrastructure with grave concerns.
Lọ́wọ́ ìjọba pẹ̀lú nǹkan tán ṣe fún wa lórí gbogbo ìrìn àjò títì yìí. Àwọn tó ń dàdọ̀tí yẹn Ọlọ́run bá kún wọn ni torí kò wà wá náà bẹ́ẹ̀ kan mọ̀ dàdọ̀tí. Àwọn agan náà mọ̀ ń sọ fún ọ pé má ṣe ń dàdọ̀tí yẹn kò dáa.
A dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ ìjọba pé fún ojú ọ̀nà bí wọ́n ti bá wa ṣe. Lóòótọ́ gbà tí wọ́n bẹ̀rẹ̀ ó nu wa là torí mọ́sí ṣọ́ọ̀bù wa náà ti wó. Ṣùgbọ́n bẹ̀t fún àlàáfíà wa náà fi ṣe lórí tẹ́ bá ń lọ sí òkòkò ní ìsìn between 10 minutes ìyẹn ti débẹ̀ àwọn míì kọ́lé síbẹ̀ tí wọn ò lè gbé bẹ̀ tẹ́lẹ̀ ó sọ wọn ti kó lọ síbẹ̀ ẹ rí àwọn tó sọ abẹ́ bíríìjì dílé kò dáa torí àkọ́kọ́ àwọn ọmọ olè wọ́n ń já báàgì ńbẹ̀ tó bá dílé tàwà.
tọ́ba débi sùúrù alábàáyé ń sìn níbi máa tù níbi tí nàbà sí ẹ gbogbo ẹ ti wú ó ti bàjẹ́. Àwọn tó dàgbà wọn ń dákú síbẹ̀ níbi kó wọn àfẹ́sí mọ́tò míì táwọn èèyàn ń kú tó ń ṣèṣe tó ń lọ sọ́ọ́ fífi nítorí ẹ̀ wọ́n bá mú tó sáìdì sùúrù àrẹ́bà wọn sí nọ́mbà sí ẹ àtàwọn tó ń yàgbẹ́ sí gbogbo bíbí arú ti lè wọ́n bá mú tó yẹ náà.
I want to appreciate the government for their effort in building this road. Over these years we've seen the road being tattered and the government come to erect something like this. It's a welcome development for every one of us in this community.
This road was not a pass-by place before, as of 2020, 2021.
Àmọ́ báyìí ní abúlé àjọta wa yà sọ pé fọlọ́ báyìí ń sin anybody tó bá kọjá ní tẹ́ bá wọ́n ń sin gbogbo bíbá fíìmù ọ̀nà wa ń lọ gerege lọ́wọ́ Èkó sódọ̀kùn bíbá mọ́ 1 year ní bíbá tẹ́lẹ̀ wọn ti bá a sọ di ọ̀nà àlàáfíà báyìí gbogbo àjọ máa fọwọ́sowọ́pọ̀ àjọ máa fi ṣe náà ni.
Against all odds, the Babajide Sanwo-Olu administration is determined to sanitize the corridor. The government has initiated a resilient plan to ensure preservation and sustainability of this infrastructure. The plan seeks to bring together all major stakeholders to formulate a sustainability program. A task force has been established to take on the challenge of ensuring that this costly project is preserved to serve and benefit residents of Lagos State. In addition, the Lagos State government will commence a comprehensive cleanup exercise on all roads across the state. Stealing and fraudulent taking of movable government or public property, such as road infrastructure, is a violation of the Criminal Code Act Section 383. Therefore, vandals apprehended will be made to face the full wrath of the law.
All these abuses, which range from indiscriminate discharge of refuse, indiscriminate parking, destruction of public infrastructure, has to stop. It is unacceptable, and it's noteworthy to mention that destruction of public properties, both by whom destroys and whom purchases, is a criminal offense.
It behoves on road users and residents to play their role of taking ownership of this infrastructure. This is a clarion call to road users and residents of the area to guide the infrastructure jealously and imbibe the maintenance culture, bearing in mind the importance of the road and the enormous resources the Babajide Sanwo-Olu administration has expended on the project. Do not be caught on the wrong side of the law. Ìgbéga ìpínlẹ̀ Èkó, àjùmọ̀ṣe gbogbo wa ni.
You go stay wearing uniform, you want to treat people anyhow. Imagine this officer. I will clear out one lie.
Don't cast.
Bruh, come up there. Face no matter. The biggest dragon for Westeros, now small picking face down. Climb down. Formula 1. Fear catch me.
He found the gold and asked her for just shaking me piece of the pie, and she killed him for it.
Obini.
No one tells a story like we do. Showmax, Africa's original streaming service.
The following is a paid presentation by ShopX TV. Are you worried about the safety and security of your home at night? Do you wish to know when intruders come close to your home? Or do you want to protect what matters to your family from anywhere at any time? What if there was a convenient, affordable way to keep surveillance in your home without having to worry about wires, installations, or heavy light bills? Real time. Set the siren alarm to go up when motion is detected and keep intruders away.
The Sight Bulb HD Cam is now available in Nigeria, exclusively from ShopX TV. You could be paying up to 200,000 naira for an indoor and outdoor security system that doesn't fully secure your home. But call the number on your screen now and get the Sight Bulb HD Cam for just 45,000 naira and get peace of mind. And that's not all. If you call now, we'll give you an extra sight bulb at no extra cost. That means you buy one and get one free for 45,000 naira. But wait, there's more. If you order now, you get the Sight Bulb HD Cam delivered to you for free wherever you are in Nigeria. So, call the number on your screen now or visit our website to place your order while stock lasts. The proceeding was a paid presentation brought to you by ShopX TV.
Hello everyone, this is Beyond 100 Days, where we explore and probe activities of the Bola Tinubu administration as well as other elected government functionaries in Nigeria. I am Nifemi Ogun. You can join the conversation right now using X, formerly Twitter, with the hashtag Beyond 100 Days. Remember to tag at TVC News NG. Let's begin with the latest from Abu Dhabi, where President Tinubu has secured a deal to lift visa ban on Nigerian travelers. President Bola Tinubu and President of the United Arab Emirates